the NBA, but we've got local news. Sacramento Kings.
Is it official?
Shams Charania tweets out, Malik Monk is finalizing a deal with the Sacramento Kings. Sources tell Shams and Sam Amick. So Malik Monk is your newest Sacramento King. And, this was kind of expected, obviously, over the last, I'd say, 12 hours or so. And the news is flying. I'm just trying to retweet everything at Nick C Radio. I mean, everybody is signing. Of course, we knew this was going to happen, right? Sean Cunningham tweets out, Ramie, that this is a 2-year, $19 million deal for Malik Monk and the Kings. Your thoughts, Malik Monk, do you like it?
I like it. It goes back to what I was talking about yesterday of whatever assets you have, whatever resources you have, pushing them to the middle of the table and getting guys that can help you win basketball games right now. I know we're going to talk about this later, but for me, if it was Dante or Malik Monk, give me Dante. But at least this team continues to put resources and assets towards a win now approach, which is not necessarily what I wanted when I got to town. But now that we're down this road, let's go. Let's keep pushing assets towards that goal and see what this team can do in 2022-23.
Of course, we want your thoughts on this. Malik Monk is a Sacramento King. 2 years, $19 million is the deal. You can hit us up on the text, 916-339-1140. You can call us at 1-800-920-1140. Of course, you can always tweet at us as well at Nick C Radio. And for Ramie, it's at Ramie is tweeting. Again, fast and furious deals are coming across the Twitter timeline. We will get to all of them. And let me first talk about Malik Monk, since you just had a chance to kind of take a look at that for a second, Ramie. As a player, let's first say this. The first thing I want to make sure that I get across to Kings fans is that this is a talent upgrade, right? This is an upgrade. Malik Monk is a good player. There's no doubt about it. He is a good player. He is a talent upgrade for this basketball team. We had this conversation before the show. Everybody has to make sure they have realistic expectations. And what I mean by that is you're not going to be able to just, go out there and get anybody that you want. That's not how this works. You have about $10 million to take care of your free agency action right now. So the 2 years, $19 million makes sense from a money standpoint. Now, when I look at Monk, a couple of things, Ramie, couple of pros. The Fox relationship. Obviously, De'Aaron Fox played with Malik Monk at Kentucky. They have a very good relationship. The relationship has continued into the NBA. They know how to play with each other. They know how to play off of each other. They truly understand each other very, very well, and they have immediate chemistry. So the first thing is you've got the Fox-Monk combination in the backcourt again. The other part of this that I really like is the shooting. When we went into this offseason, Ramie, we said the Kings need shooting. The Kings need all the shooting that they can get. And when you look at Malik Monk, Will_Zimmerly on Twitter last night tweeted these numbers out. Monk this past year, 40.7% from the corner, three-point land. He's 38.8% above the break from three. Catch and shoot three-point percentage, almost 42%. Pull up from three, 34.5%. And he can also get himself a bucket if needed. 67% of his field goals were assisted. 33% were unassisted. So again, this guy can shoot from literally every single spot from the floor beyond three. He can catch and shoot it. He can pull up and shoot it, and he can get his own bucket if he needs to, Ramie.
And that's why I like him. This does address a need for the Sacramento Kings, but the but here and the reason that you might have reservations about this is the Kings were already a bad defensive basketball team, and that was one of the stated goals of this team this offseason was improving on defense. It's a big reason why they brought Mike Brown in. He's sort of a defensive specialist in his coaching career. But at the end of the day, you need the players and the personnel. And Malik Monk doesn't do much to impress defensively. Last season was a career best for him in defensive win share, and he had a 1.4, which, if you don't know, that's not great when it comes to defensive win share. Like, the dude doesn't bring a lot of defense or, from what I hear, Nick, interest in playing defense to the table. So, yeah, you address the need for a shooter, but when it comes to the need for big guards and big guards who can defend, they didn't address that with Malik Monk. Like I said, I like the move. It improves them. It furthers the goal of win now, the playoff mandate, if you will, but it doesn't necessarily address all the needs that the Kings needed in their backcourt with the move in free agency or through a trade. Maybe they're not done. We don't know if they're done, and maybe there is somebody who fits that profile and fills in some of those gaps that Malik Monk does not. But as far as the defense of this basketball team, didn't get any better today with Malik Monk entering the fold.
Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports 1140. Your newest Sacramento King is Malik Monk. That's been reported by multiple insiders now. Sean Cunningham, our friend at Fox, has the deal at 2 years, $19 million. And you hit it, Ramie, right there with some of the cons, right? I gave you some of the pros, the Fox relationship, his ability to shoot the basketball, his ability to score the basketball, which is very, very, very important for this team. But when you look at it defensively, it's not great. It's not great at all. And when you look at this team now, let's say if Malik is going to start, because the other option here, like you said, Ramie, there could be something else that's going to come down, right? There could be a trade. You could bring in a starting two guard. But when you bring Malik Monk in and you pay him pretty much what is the full mid-level exception, you know he's going to be a pivotal part to the rotation, whether it's he's going to start or he's going to be the sixth man. He could be the sixth man off the bench along with Davion Mitchell. I would say if you're going to roll with a Davion Mitchell backcourt with Malik Monk, it's going to be a very, very small and undersized backcourt. That's what my concern would be. But defensively is the issue with Monk. And when you look at this, you know, he's a pretty good playmaker. He's 24 years old. He's friends and has chemistry with De'Aaron Fox. He can shoot and he can score. But number one, his best year was last year offensively, and he happened to have somebody by the name of LeBron James on the floor with him. So
that helps.
Yeah, that tends to help when you have LeBron out there. No doubt about that. And secondly, the defense. My concern is not just Monk's defense, but how it affects the rest of this team. I mean, when you look at this roster right now, and again, it's really early. A lot of moves can still happen. Trades can happen, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But when you look at this team right now, if you say you're going to start Malik Monk at the 2, De'Aaron Fox, as good as he is offensively, we all know he has not been very good defensively on a consistent basis. His effort wanes on that end of the floor. So you have Fox, who's been inconsistent defensively, has all the tools to be good, but has not actually been good on a consistent basis. Then you have Monk. He's not a big guy. He is not a big guy whatsoever. You know, when you look at his size and the position he plays, he is somebody that is going to be picked on, so to speak, when it comes to matchups. So you worry about Malik Monk defensively. Harrison Barnes, if he's still on this team and he's playing the 3, you feel okay about Harrison Barnes. Then you have a rookie, Keegan Murray, at 4. We all expect him to be good defensively. Will he actually be ready to impact the game at the NBA level on that end right away? We don't know. And finally, Ramie, we know Domas is not a very good defensive player. So you have 3 guys who are defensive weaknesses right now in your starting 5, if that's the way you roll.
And maybe they're saying to Mike Brown, hey, fix it. You know what I mean? That's your thing. That's what you do. You're a defensive coach. Come in here and fix it. Or maybe Mike Brown told them when he was hired, he was like, look, guys, this defense thing, don't worry about it. I know how to get my teams to play defense. I know how to get it out of the guys. I know how to draw it up. We'll get the defense going. Just get me the best players that you can, and let's get some scoring in here. Because at this point, that's the only acquisition they've made this offseason to improve the defense, Nick, is Mike Brown, is the head coach. As far as what they've done with the roster, like you said, Keegan Murray looks like he has the potential to be a good defensive player somewhere down the line, but you're not going to ask that guy to be your defensive stopper as a rookie and the number 4 pick in the draft. That's not going to be the thing that you ask him to do first and foremost. So I don't know where they plan on improving on defense other than asking Mike Brown to do it all through motivating these guys to play defense, because you mentioned De'Aaron Fox has never really shown the propensity to play defense.
Right.
And I don't remember who the coach was that I heard say this way back in the day during the 90s Bulls run growing up in Chicago, Nick. One of their coaches, one of Phil Jackson's assistants, said, there's not a player in the NBA that doesn't have the ability to play defense. All these guys are the best athletes in the world when you look around this sport and around this league. They're the best athletes in the world. Every one of these guys can move quick enough, can jump high enough, is strong enough to at least play adequate defense. It's all want to. And we know that De'Aaron Fox is a great athlete. I mean, he shows it on the offensive side of the floor. It's a matter of, does he want to apply that to playing defense in the NBA? And if he does, he could prove himself to be a very good defender. People talked about Kevin Durant not being a good defender when he first came into this league. And when he went to Golden State, they kind of put it on him, gave him the challenge of becoming a better defender. And now when Kevin Durant wants to, he can be one of the best post defenders in the league and at least help guys with big men down low. So it maybe it's there, and it just needs some water on the garden to grow as far as the defense. And maybe Mike Brown is the water for the garden. But personnel wise, they haven't done anything to address a major deficiency for this team, which is size and defense.
All right, you heard our thoughts on Malik Monk. He is the newest Sacramento King, 2 years, $19 million. Want your thoughts on this deal? Do you like it? Do you love it? Are you indifferent? Maybe you hate it. Maybe you're not a big fan of the move. We'll continue the conversation.